Bellhaven here. So, I wanted to talk to you guys today about socketing, enchanting, and masterworking. So, we have another things and stuff explained video, so these are always fun. Um, I wanted to talk about these three things. I was going to do separate videos, but I did decide to do one video because they're very similar, and I think it's important you see kind of the process something goes through. So as you can see here, I made some pine wands. We have a couple plus ones. That just means they came out exceptional, which gives them plus 50 durability, which is really good if you're enchanting or masterworking something. When you enchant or masterwork something, it takes away from the durability. So if we look at this regular pine wand, we can see that it only has 100 durability. And then the pine wand has 150 durability because it has the plus one for being exceptional. So we know that it'll last longer once we enchant it and once we are able to masterwork it and things of that nature. So let's go ahead and start with socketing. Socketing is kind of like one of these things, they're not like the others. Masterwork and enchanting are very similar. They both have a chance of breaking your item. They both have, a lot of random statistics to them and things like that, which we will get into. But socketing's pretty straightforward. It's just a craft. It won't break your item. If it fails, it'll only use mandrake root, the additive that you use to socket the item. So a lot of people either socket at the beginning or at the end. If you socket in the beginning, when you start to enchant it, it has a chance of giving an enchant that correlates to the gem you used. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the gems. So you can see that we have some of the ones you'd see normally, which are amethyst, citrine, diamond. These are the ones that you find out in the wild, the ones that you get the fragments for, and the ones that you can get a chance of dropping a full gem when you're out mining. And then we have like a Gaism. Again, my pronunciation sucks, but necromancy gems, as you can see, is a onyx gem, is an onyx turned into a gem. So in order to socket anything, you first have to take whatever we're using. So we'll go ahead and grab a citrine, which is air, a diamond, which is life, and then we'll go ahead and grab an onyx for death magic. So each of these correlates to a specific type of magic in your magic tree, which is all of these right here. And so now we went out, we mined, we have our gems. We're going to come over to our alchemy station. Once at the alchemy station, we can then turn the gems, the raw uncut gems, into a socketable version. So I already have the recipes. They're all pretty much the same. So in order to turn a onyx into a necromancer gem, you need 10 mandrake root, your onyx, and then of course your equipped tool. And then we'll craft it, and once we do that, we'll turn it into a necromancy gem. Now while that's going, I do want to touch on the fact that there's also necromancy jewel. Jewels are for necklaces and rings specifically. You will use gems in armor and weapons, but the jewels are used for necklaces and rings. And when you do a necromancy jewel, or any sort of jewel, it will actually give you 2 instead of 1. So let's go ahead and take our necromancy gem. Let's turn the citrine into, I think it's a thurgy? Yeah, thurgy gem. There we go. Go ahead and craft that. You'll also notice too that it says I don't have any mandrake root, and yet I do have mandrake root. That's just because they're in my bag with the regs. It doesn't notify me because I don't have it in my main inventory, but because I do still have it, it will pull it out if that makes sense to you guys. And then our diamond. So go ahead and craft our diamond into a thaumaturgy gem. Alright, so now we have socketable gems. So now what we need to do is we want to put these gems into our wands. So we go up to our socketing recipes. That's the word. Yeah. So you can see here, you can't socket everything, unfortunately. there's three types of socketing: two-handed weapons and one-handed weapons. One-handed weapons only use one gem, like wands, and two-handed weapons, like halberds, use two gems, but you do get more attunement for it. And then chest armor. So you can't socket legs yet, you can't socket feet, hands, head, any of that, just your chest piece. So we have a one-handed weapon. Let's go ahead and click on this, and you see it did pull our wand and our third G gem. So we're going to go ahead and craft that. And you can see it's a 98% chance, which is the same as any if I were to craft something. As to our enchantments and masterworks are different, which we will get into that. So you can see here, if you look on what it has at the very bottom, it says socketed 30 plus 10 air attunement. And it didn't affect our durability either, so we just added a gem to the wand, which increases our attunement for whichever gem we use. And as I mentioned before in my attunement and deck building, the more attunement you have, every spell in that tree will be stronger as well. It's your overall how good you are with that magic or that element. So we got our Pine Wand of Thurgy. Let's go ahead and take that. And let's go ahead and add another one. So this one's going to be the Thaumaturgy gem, which is going to be life attunement. Awesome. And then let's do, oh, can't use that one. Let's do our other plus one here, which is Necromancy gem, which is going to be death attunement. So let's go ahead and do that. So as you can see, socketing's really easy. As long as you have enough mandrake root, you're good. So now you can see we have three different wands. We have Necromancy, Thaumaturgy, and Theurgy. Because I'm the perfect person to pronounce these things. And then if we hold down control, we can see that that one has air attunement, life attunement, and death attunement. So let's go ahead and jump into enchanting. So now that I've socketed these first, I have a chance of getting special enchantments. So if we go to enchant something, so we have our life attunement wand, we now have a chance to get a life specific enchant. Now I'll also note that it has a 94% enchantment chance. And what that means is that's based specifically on my enchanting level. It is its own thing. And that'll go down every time I enchant it. So let's go ahead. I have a 94% chance, a 94% enchantment chance. So let's go ahead and hit craft. It will bring up this warning. Item enchantment will destroy the item, Pine Wand, if it fails. Are you sure you wish to proceed? Now this is a big risk, especially if you've already enchanted it a couple of times or if you've masterworked. And a lot of people will socket last so they don't lose their gems. However, they won't have a chance at getting a specific enchantment for that attunement. So we're going to go ahead and hit yes. And if it succeeds, which it did, thank goodness, it will bring up three random options. And we would get to pick one of these three options to add it. So we didn't get a specific to life one, but 4 intelligence is pretty good, especially on a healing wand. So let's go ahead and grab that. So now you see we have now +4, which means that was a +2 enchantment. And that's something to keep in mind too. So we have +1 from being exceptional, +1 for socketing, and now we have +2 for the enchantment, giving us a total of +4. So let's go ahead and try this fun again, except this time let's do the necromancy one. So now we have a chance of getting a death specific. Let's go ahead and do that. There's our warning. Alright, so here we have Drain Health, which is a death specific enchant for a weapon. But this does say on hit. Now I don't plan on bopping anyone on the head with my wand, so I'm probably not going to want to actually take that, although it is a very good enchantment. But because it's a wand versus say a sword or a halberd where I'm actually hitting people and would have an on-hit chance, it's not going to do me much good on a wand, unfortunately. So we're going to go ahead and grab 2 dexterity, which is still a good enchant. But it was only a +1, so now you notice this is +3 instead of +4. And I hope this isn't too much. Like, I'm trying to be specific but not overwhelming, so bear with me. As always, you guys can leave any questions in the comments below, and I'm happy to answer them for you guys. Alright, and then last but not least, let's do our air attunement wand. Alright, so let's do 2 intelligence. Okay, so now that we have all of our wands enchanted, we do have the option to enchant again. I can't right now, obviously, because I'm out of gold. Unfortunately, it takes 5 gold ingots. But if I were to enchant any of these again, the percentage would go down. It would go from 94, 95%, and it would drop. It would be probably around the 70s. And that's all dependent on your enchantment level. So now that we have them enchanted, we're going to go ahead and masterwork them. So they're wands, so that's going to be wood masterworking. And this takes silver ingots, but we don't need any mandrake root, so that's kind of good. So the masterwork right here will pull our wand, and it generally pulls the best thing you have in your inventory to masterwork. So now we have an enchantment, now we're going to masterwork, and you can see I have a 92% masterwork chance. Now, masterworking is a bit different than enchanting in the sense that there's more to it. So let's go crafting, carpentry, masterworking. So there's an overall carpentry masterwork proficiency skill, and then it breaks down into specific ones. So wands are under bludgeoning weapon. Don't ask me why, because there's ranged, which is right here, ranged weapon proficiency. I was pretty sure it should have been in there. But I guess it is technically like a giant stick you would be hitting people with, so I could see where it's bludgeoning, I suppose. And then we have polearms, which is your halberds, your spears, things of that nature. So you have your overall, and then it breaks down into specifics as well. And then, so when I masterwork this, it will go into bludgeoning specific. So let's go ahead and do that. And again, it does have the notification. Masterwork modification will destroy the item if it fails. Are you sure you wish to proceed? Now, it's only the first one, so I'm pretty confident in it. I'm going to go ahead and do it. And just like enchanting, it will pull up 3 options. Now, these 3 options are based toward the fact that it's a wand. So you're looking at a chance to use less reagents, more focus, and more spell damage. Because it recognizes that it is a wand. So it's like, oh, okay, it's a wand. What would be good for a wand? Let's try these things. So, and then we get to pick from these 3. So since it's our healing wand, I'm going to go with basic magic reagent use chance. And that's because 5 focus isn't very much, in my opinion, my personal opinion. And I'm not going to be doing a ton of damage if I'm healing. I'm more focused on keeping people alive. But if I'm using less reagents like black pearls and mandrake root and anything of that nature, sulfur ash, you know, that means I can heal longer and I'll be efficient longer. So let's go ahead and choose that one. Alright. And then let's go ahead and do our other 2. So you can see this is +6 now. So that's a pretty good wand. Also, if you guys ever need wands, I'm constantly listing them on my vendor here in Kingsport. So I know that was kind of shameless of me, but fact is, I do have a bunch of stuff for sale on my vendor, so if you guys need anything. And then let's do the necromancy gem, which is death attunement. Alright, so we have 5 focus, 10 focus, and 2.5 spell critical damage. I'm going to go with this one, because again, 5 focus and 10 focus, although extra focus is nice. In death magic, I am going to be trying to do damage with a lot of my spells, so I'm going to go ahead and grab that. And then, last but not least, our air wand. So, with air wands, dex is really nice, but your main stats are mostly going to pop up from enchanting. So, in this case, we have a percentage focus, which is really nice. So, we're going to go ahead and grab 5% focus. Because versus just having 5 added focus, this is going to go off a percentile of how much focus you have. And considering I have a fairly large focus pool, 5% of that's going to be a lot more than 5 or 10. So let's go ahead and grab that. Alright, so That's kind of just a look at how socketing, enchanting, and masterworking work, if you will. Uh, so, if you guys have any more specific questions about it or more details that you're looking for specifically, feel free to leave a comment below as always, and I will try to answer them to the best of my ability. Although I know a lot of things, unfortunately, I don't know everything yet, but I'm learning too, and hopefully, I can share everything that I learn with you guys. So make sure to subscribe, leave a like, and we will see you guys in the next video. Bye.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face. Tell me that you love me, even if it's fake.